It's 6 p.m. Eastern. It's time for the wrap. And welcome to the show, everybody. I am Joe Concha, joined by Forbes columnist and co-host of Steele and Ungar on SiriusXM Radio, Rick Ungar. We also have a top attorney from the city of brotherly love, some call it Philadelphia. Heather Hansen is here. Welcome. And finally, he is a rabbi and founder of thewisdomdaily.com. Brad Hirschfield joins us again. Thank you, sir, for being here. Appreciate it. Anyway, I know that we all had to cancel our water skiing plans that we had this afternoon because it's so lovely here in New York City. Hit 22 today, but lots to talk about instead. Let's go to the Daily Download. And President Obama on the receiving end of a surprising blow to his executive action on immigration today, when a federal judge agreed to temporarily put a hold on the order and a lawsuit by a coalition of 26 states to permanently stop that order as it goes through the courts. Interesting. So to get some clarity on what the decision really means, we are joined by former federal prosecutor Sidney Powell. He is the author of License to Lie. Sidney, I'm sorry. She is the author of License to Lie. We have obviously never met before. Exposing corruption in the Department of Justice. Thanks for joining us, Sidney. We really appreciate that. And we have your book up on the screen right now for my error, and I will at least push it 4 times during this interview. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure. So the White House said that they would appeal the U.S. District Judge Andrew Hansen's decision, but will the case reach the court, the circuit court anyway, New Orleans, or the Supreme Court before Wednesday, when Homeland Security Department has planned to start taking applications under that new amnesty?
Oh, no, there's no way it can be decided in that length of time. It will take some significant briefing, and the court will want to give it careful review. The judge entered a 123-page opinion. It was entered by Judge Andrew Hannon in Brownsville, Texas, who's done a great job in his research and writing in this decision, and talks about the significant damage that the states will incur from this executive action.
Are you surprised by the decision?
No, I'm just relieved that an Article 3 judge stepped up and did what an Article 3 judge is supposed to do, and that's act as the third and equal branch of government and stop unlawful conduct, which is what he's done.
Well, the president and certainly the administration seemed to be surprised. They actually put out a statement at 3 a.m. last night. They couldn't even wait till the sun came up. They were so shocked by the decision. Do you think we'll see deportations of illegal immigrants that were granted protection under the executive order, or just everything stay status quo?
No, I think, in fact, one of the issues the judge addressed was the fact that this will simply maintain the status quo. The problem with the executive order is not one of deportations. It was one of conferring benefits on people who are not citizens and going outside the law to do that, because Congress had expressly rejected the remedies that President Obama took action on unilaterally.
And Sidney, I don't know if you heard this, but the National Day Labor Organization Network, they called the ruling judicial vigilantism. Do you agree with that?
Heavens no. It's what an Article 3 judge is supposed to do, act as a check and balance on full executive action.
And finally, do you think, Sidney, that this executive order will stand when all is said and done?
I think the executive order won't stand. I think the action by Judge Hannon will stand.
Well, excellent. Well, Sidney, we appreciate you joining us via Skype. Thanks so much. Guys, can we get the book up again as far as that's concerned? Do we have the graphic? There we go. License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. Sidney Powell joined us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it once again.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, fortunately, we have a bunch of attorneys here, which will help out in this situation, and that's why they're on our panel. Heather Hansen, Rick Ungar. Heather, you heard Sidney Powell. Do you agree?
I do. I think that the decision was so thoughtful. 123 pages. He went through the reason that Texans had standing, that people are actually being damaged by this executive order. The interesting thing to me was that he founded this decision not based on the Constitution, but based solely on the fact that the Administrative Procedures Act wasn't followed. President Obama should have, under the Administrative Procedures Act, given people the opportunity to comment. Had he done that, we wouldn't be talking about the fact that this is now allowing immigrants to get tax money. We wouldn't be talking about the fact that this allows immigrants to vote. We would have talked about that before the order went through. So I think that this decision was really well thought out, and that the Fifth Circuit, which is a very conservative court, is going to uphold this decision.
Checks and balances on display, Rick.
I agree actually with Heather's point of view with respect to the judge's approach to it. He surprised me. I actually read what he wrote. It was intelligent. He took an angle that I would not have expected, kind of effective. I also agree that it's likely to stand when it gets to the appellate level. I do think that this is something that will get to the Supreme Court because it does go to the meat of executive orders. Look, this has always been a close call. As an attorney, I could have argued either side of this case with considerable ease. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But he points to this judge for not writing a stupid opinion.
Right, and this afternoon, Eric Holder actually said we always expected this to
Yes.
get to the
Yeah,
Supreme
they weren't
Court.
shocked.
I think that
Right.
everyone expected this to happen. I think it was more quickly than expected, which is why you saw the 4 a.m. response to it, because I think the administration was surprised. But I think that this is what was expected, and it will follow the route that it should follow, because ultimately this is something that has to be decided.
No, I'm not a lawyer, but I've watched enough shows and seen enough movies.
played
Few
one
Good
on
Men is one of my all-time favorites.
me too.
I know all about precedent, at least, and this is going to set the tone as far as when it does get to the Supreme Court, which you believe it will, for years to come, as far as other presidents acting in this way.
Well, but the thing is, it's the way that he did it. You know, they're not talking about the constitutionality. They're talking about the fact that he didn't open it up to review, which is sort of typical of this president. He doesn't like to talk about
it's
things.
not crystal clear that an executive order of this nature has to be done under the administration's act. So you can't just state that as a
But Rick,
as
would
a
you
fact.
agree that actually for something this important,
Yeah.
that simply going the route of executive order, whether you agree with the conclusion or not, is not the thing to
different-
do? And
different
that,
question.
Joe, is what I think is really the central issue
Different
here,
question.
is that the procedure here is about more than procedures.
That's
The
right.
procedure is about an ethos of how we're going to deal with the big divisive issues that we face in this country. And I'm not taking a position, what yes or no on the conclusion, but I know that historically, when leadership brings its followership along, the conclusions we
But wait,
reach are
remember
better.
something.
And that
about-
didn't happen
wait,
here.
Remember something that's not often remembered. When the president issued his executive order, he made it crystal clear and continues to make it clear that he will rip it up. Wait, let me finish. The minute Congress does their job, which they refuse to do even as we sit here today.
Heather,
That's
final
not
word.
the way it works. That
Yes,
is
it
not,
is
no,
the way
it's
it
not
works.
the way it works. You don't pass executive orders because Congress isn't doing their job.
Actually,
You work
that's
with
almost
Congress.
always why presidents pass
That is-
executive
it-
orders.
Well, not
It may
exactly.
be why they do
Not-
it, but it doesn't necessarily make good law or good policy.
Well,
and
it
that does come back
when
to the president.
You
And
know
when
what?
you're not
Doing
getting-
nothing is very bad policy.
But when you're not getting the comments
not
that you
always.
need, you have executive orders
have
that
to
go
have
through.
comments for executive
Rick,
orders.
if he had had the feedback, he would know, for example, that
What?
these illegal immigrants are going to get taxes.
And we got to end it there, guys.
Well, no, he probably
That's-
wouldn't have, but I get your point on it.
That's our last word. So coming up next, religious leaders are coming out ISIS for what they are, Islamic fanatics. Why doesn't the president follow suit? This is the Daily Wrap, only on Newsmax TV from New York City.